Alright, so imagine this. You're scrolling through your phone, and suddenly you come across a device that feels like it's breaking multiple rules at once. Huge battery, flagship level performance, gaming features, and somehow still keeping a sleek profile. And that is exactly what is happening with the Oppo K15 Pro Plus. This phone is not just another mid-cycle release. It actually feels like Oppo is experimenting with what people really want in 2026. And honestly, some of these choices are kind of wild in a good way. But before we go deeper, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a like, because this kind of deep dive content really helps the channel grow, and I've got a lot more devices like this coming up. So first, let's talk about the design, because at a glance it looks clean, minimal, nothing too crazy, but then you start noticing the details. You've got a glass front with what Oppo calls crystal shield glass, an aluminum frame, and a thickness of just 8.3 millimeters, which is actually impressive when you consider what's inside this thing. And then there's something you almost never see, a built-in cooling fan. Yeah, an actual fan inside a smartphone, which instantly tells you this device is targeting performance users and gamers. On top of that, you also get RGB lighting on the back, which again gives it that subtle gaming vibe without going overboard. Now the display is where things start getting seriously interesting. You're looking at a 6.78-inch AMOLED panel with a 165 Hz refresh rate. That is not just smooth, that is ultra smooth. Like scrolling feels almost unreal at that point. And it supports up to 1 billion colors with a peak brightness of 1,800 nits. So whether you're gaming, watching content, or just using it outdoors, visibility and fluidity should be top tier. The resolution sits at 1272 by 2772, which keeps everything sharp without sacrificing too much battery. Speaking of performance, this is where Oppo really flexes. The K15 Pro Plus is powered by the Dimensity 9500s built on a 3nm process. That means better efficiency, better thermal control, and serious raw power. You've got a Cortex X925 core clocked at 3.73 GHz, backed by multiple high-performance cores, and paired with the Immortalis G925 GPU. In simple terms, this thing is built to handle anything you throw at it, from heavy gaming to multitasking to long editing sessions. And with 12 GB of RAM and UFS 4.1 storage, everything should feel instant. Now here's where things get crazy: the battery. An 8,000 mAh battery inside a phone this slim is honestly kind of insane. This is the kind of capacity you expect from tablets or rugged phones, not something that looks this sleek. For most users, this could easily mean 2 days of usage without even thinking about charging. And when you do need to charge, you've got 100W fast charging, plus support for multiple standards like PPS and UFCS. There's even bypass charging, which is perfect for gamers because it powers the phone directly without heating up the battery too much. Let's talk cameras, because this is probably the one area where some people might feel a bit mixed. You've got a 50-megapixel main sensor with OIS, which should deliver solid photos in most conditions, and an 8-megapixel ultra-wide. Video goes up to 4K at 60 frames per second, which is good, but there's no telephoto lens here. So if you're someone who relies heavily on zoom, this might feel like a compromise. But for everyday photography, social media, and general use, it should still perform well. Now, something that really adds to the overall experience is the software. This phone runs Android 16 with ColorOS 16 on top. Oppo has been refining ColorOS a lot over the years, and it's now smoother, more customizable, and packed with useful features without feeling too heavy. Combined with that high refresh rate display and powerful chipset, the overall experience should feel extremely fluid. Quick mid-video reminder: if you're enjoying this breakdown and want more real talk tech content like this, hit that like button and subscribe. It genuinely helps push these videos out to more people. Coming back to the hardware, you also get IP68 and IP69 ratings, which means this phone is not just powerful, but also durable. It can handle dust, water, even high-pressure jets, which is something you rarely see combined with gaming-focused features. Add in stereo speakers, Wi-Fi 7 support, Bluetooth 5.4, NFC, and even an infrared port, and you've basically got a device that checks almost every box. But here's the real question: who is this phone actually for? And I think the answer is pretty clear. This is for someone who wants insane battery life, top-tier performance, and a smooth display experience, all in one package. It's not trying to be the ultimate camera phone, and that's okay. Instead, it focuses on power, endurance, and usability, and in that sense, it absolutely stands out. And when you look at the expected price, which is around 460 euros, it becomes even more interesting because you're getting features here that are usually reserved for much more expensive devices. That combination of value and performance is what could make this phone a serious competitor in 2026. So overall, the Oppo K15 Pro Plus feels like a bold move. It's not playing it safe, it's experimenting with things like massive battery capacity, active cooling, and ultra-high refresh rate displays. And honestly, that's refreshing to see. It might not be perfect, especially if you care a lot about camera versatility, but for everything else, it's kind of a powerhouse. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. If you want more videos like this where we break down upcoming phones and see what actually matters, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button, and I'll catch you in the next one.